Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for sticking with us. We're going to be live in map number 2 now between North and the Ninjas in Pyjamas. After a phenomenal performance from AZ, North did take the first map and instantly into the second one with Gade landing 3. It could even be a fourth, but MSL takes it away. And Twist will at least deny Gade of any further incursions. At range, he gets picked off from AZ. And North will pick up the first round of our second map. It is a map, Train, that isn't great for them statistics-wise. You look at their previous performances, they have a win rate of 33% with only 6 maps played on here, as opposed to NIP's 62% with 13. So it definitely doesn't bode particularly well if you look at the stats. But online stats don't paint the full picture as to how these games come down. And NIP will be going in for a force buy straight away. Deagles, we've already seen many times just how powerful and devastating these Deagles can be in the right hands of the P250. Smokes across the board and a few flashbangs in for good measure as the Swedes getting smoked off onto Ivy. Going to be picking up the bomb again and now headed towards this vicinity with a couple players. Meanwhile, Rez joined by Plopsky, making moves and maybe going to try and fend away some of these CTs over on the box halls, as Plopsky is going to be moving down that ramp sooner rather than later. North, though, do have a good assortment of weaponry. 3 for masses. MP7, not something you've seen too often anymore, and an MP9. I believe I just heard Connor. How's it going, bro?
Oh, hey, just casually in the middle of round 2, I guess, huh? Hey, guys. Thank you, Vince. So I'm sure you elegantly handled everything you needed to. What a professional. Fashionably late. That's what I like to call it.
I can't fault the teams. They're ready, man. They want to rock.
Yeah, I'm so not
game.
ready for that. Yeah, for like the turnaround time in some of these map to maps has just been a little ludicrous. So please excuse my absence and please welcome me back, Vince. I would love to keep casting with you if I may.
Hey, it's my pleasure. By all means.
Cool. Cool. Let's see if Hampus can rope open the B site. He's going to get himself a bit of a gunfight. Plopsky is well inside of connectors, got one, but it is MSL towards B to open up with the 4 versus 5 to his favor for only a moment, because Plopsky, just as we had the CTs take one, opens it up back the other way. This puts that A bomb site in compromise where that bomb is trying to get planted. 6 seconds left over. Twist gets it in. MSL almost catches his head. It's a 2 versus 2 where the CTs have more HP. Rez has been able to walk dangerously close to the bomb site. Think MSL, he just came from this position. He thinks he's back by E-Box. Rez is doing a great job of just keeping his head tucked, but they don't let their guard down, not even for a second. MSL takes his 3rd, and North will find 2.
Yeah, solid retake in the end. A little bit dicey, though, but it was a full buy from MIP, so they're going to have to think about whether they want to go in again. They know the economy of North is not going to be ideal, so do they want to go all in? They could afford some Galils. Plopsky's Deagle would suggest no, and Hampus is going to join him in that endeavor alongside Nork. So it's mainly going to be just Deags and the Swedes looking to try and rinse and repeat from the victory that saw them take at least a bomb plant. They weren't able to convert from that point, of course. And MSL already going in for an AWP, maybe anticipating a potential force buy. So they do have a good, solid purchase to the Danes. And MSL is eagle-eyed, peering across to the pop dog. Throws the smoke down, trying to stop any incursions. Meanwhile, another smoke has been deployed outside of Ivy. Grenade actually not doing as much damage to Nork as I thought. I was assuming that would hit him for like 50, but instead it's only 14 HP that he loses.
Could have been far worse. Seems like he's just going to hang out for the moment here, tucked behind the box. Lots to lose here for North, in my opinion. You know, you want to make sure you get the sniper. And then seeing as you have the 2 M4s, I'm like, yeah, 3 guys have to survive here. Famas, write it off. MP7, forget about it. But those 3 primary weapons, that's the big investment here for North. They're kind of getting a little peckish here because there's not much going on. You can see them kind of shifting in positions. Cajun, most notably, kind of keeping his head on a swivel here. He's worried about the ladder room, but also Christu, who has had some utility exchanged. He flashes, nothing thrown back, no random bullet to confirm that somebody's right there, but there are two Ts just on the other side. They stay tucked, and he still doesn't see them. Now he gets the confirmation on the one, but they're gonna try attack the other side of the A site, and that's where the CTs hold strong. Christu, his teammates have done enough to allow him to focus on his job, and that was always Ivy. So North, 4 survivors, MP7 added to the 3 guns they had to keep forward.
Yeah, it's well played, honestly. North, impressive in the opening to this half. It kicked off with Gade with a beautiful triple kill with his USP perched up on the grey train of B.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I remember it. It was very good. You should have seen it, Vince.
True, true. You saw it through the walls, yeah?
Yeah.
As he came back to his room, he's like, oh, sick. Gotta get back.
Slide right in. Hey, guys. Never skip a beat. How about this Ivy play with the op in the front?
I appreciate it. I do. I mean, the firepower does favor NIP, though, to be fair, because there is an MP7 in place still, as opposed to AKs in the AWP. Lack of grenades on Twist. Lack of real map control is more of an issue, though. Flashbang out into main. Not really going to affect Christo at all. Can just stay in position with the MP7. Now he's getting tagged up through the wall, though. NIP making moves. Going to be throwing in the fake from Rez. Tosses in the smoke. They only have one more smoke at their disposal. That is going to be a problem. 3 mollies is all well and good, but can they force their way out? Can they crowbar and sledgehammer their way through Ivy? Or is Cajun B going to be a one-man army? It's a 1-for-1 trade. Not bad. Information also garnered in the process, as now MSL looks to be the scorer of all these T's as they push in. He's going to try and scourge across as many frags as possible, but Rez may have him dead to rights if he peeks around the corner. He hasn't done it just yet, but with 30 seconds to go, the first kill comes down in this standoff, and it's all going the way of North. Only Hampus bounces back with a second kill in the round for the Swedes, but they have been comprehensively dealt with.
Swept away, just as convincing as the start of Vertigo once was. North showing great signs on this CT side. 3 survivors in the last 4 to the round prior. And Ninjas in Pyjamas having to contemplate the buy here. Plopsky, he goes all in on the AK, but everybody else is just going to get the curb purchase. Kevlar, Deagles, few grenades. It's enough, but the whole round will definitely hinge on Plopsky, so we've got to keep our eyes close on him. He's going to get boosted inside T-Con, and it nearly works for an opening kill. Christu even gives him a second chance, and that's where Hampus is going to capitalize. Cajun's op has also been spotted, so they know that there's another CT deep on Ivy, and they could even try to split this out with Rez. He's emerging from the ladder room. Cajun, wary of Ivy, and that could boil down to some good conditioning because we have seen Ninjas more often than not with a little bit of Ivy control, but this time there's nobody back there, although MSL swings that big green and takes one off of the site. MSL still yet to die so far this map. He gets another op frag versus that single AK and through the smoke into Rez. AZ's going to tap into the head of Knock to close, but that's that 5-0 start North could only hope for.
North one of those kind of teams as well, where I even saw Pimp making tweets about this not too long ago about MSL's AWPing and saying that, look, he may have got it slightly wrong in terms of MSL's overall ability with the AWP, but he's not a star AWPer. And MSL basically said, I'm going to prove you wrong. Give me enough time, I will prove you wrong. Now, I'm not going to say that this performance alone is going to prove anybody wrong, but it's one hell of a way to turn some attention and turn some heads. He's one of those players, if he's feeling it, he can be such a linchpin for North. We've already seen a lot of the firepower they possess from the likes of AZ on Vertigo, who, by the way, has been chugging along himself. He's 7-1 with 130 ADR. But it's just been MSL landing all the shots. Speaking of AZ, catches that grenade in the pocket. Beautiful flash, but it actually is going to be countered by a flashbang, which was tossed in instantly from Hampus. So a bit of a stalemate, but MSL now on a different angle of approach. Going to drill into Hampus, deals with him, and there is nothing counteractive about this from NiP. They lose a player. No one's pushing out. No one's making the most of a momentary weakness. So North just get a frag, and they can stay in position for longer.
He's going to throw what they can. Maybe Twist is the one to claw this back. Ooh, dangerous peek here. CT on top of the train could find the angle. You know, that level of verticality between the two defenders. Could be everything in this position. Another volley of flashbangs. They wait, and obviously B's going to be the target here. Gade, he's 20 HP. Oh! He just hit Rez with the smoke. Rez answers by finding the headshot through it. Then they sent that CT side scrambling, Vince. Everybody's trying to sprint over to the back lines of the B site. Naki's got that bomb in position with 20 seconds to spare. Oh, but MSL, he's on a tear. He takes down Plopsky off at the top of the train. Rez still remains very close to the CTs. Answers with a first kill, almost the second, giving MSL his very first death. A tap into Cajun's head. One bullet makes the difference on that one. AZ up close, swings it back slightly. Knock revealing himself in the 2 versus 1. MSL cut down by the counter sniper. Ninjas on the board.
Well played, NIP. The downside, though, Scrawny, to bring things back into reality is that NIP now have to go through all of their finances. They're going to have to deplete all of that funds. They just built themselves up, whereas North easily buying for 2 more orbs. So yes, well done. You got your first round of the map, but can you get consistency? Because if not, things may take a downward spiral real quick. And that was off the basis of an opportunistic entry through the smoke onto Gade on B. That's not something you can hope to rinse and repeat round in, round out. Good smokes tossed outside, but good counter utility as well. HE's and incendiaries being tossed in. And NIP, after throwing in the bulk of their smokes, haven't really got much to show for it. They do still have 2 more smokes they can toss out. They got a lot of utility in the process, but Crystal, caught on the train ladder, still comes out ahead and frags, but he is at least countered by Twist's AWP.
Plopsky's about to swing, catching AZ. 3v3 is where we're left, and it seems like Ninjas want to move this towards the B site. Gade, poor guy, got caught through the smoke last round. He's already decided to get himself into a bit of a safer position. He has the grenades as well to slow this down, but Rez, ooh, he's going to creep out. Difficult shot to hit that one. Smoke's going to go deep here for Rez, and he takes the head of Gade. The CT repeat gives away the man advantage, and I don't want to retake with a double sniper setup, so why would MSL and Cajun be? That's way too valuable of a loss to just throw away in a desperate 2v3 retake attempt with no kits even, Vince. So they have to let this one slide. That's Ninjas following up. It's not some, one-off done little sprout of victory here for Ninjas. They're trying to cultivate something special, and it's at least 2 to start. 2 in a row, excuse me.
Yeah, and both of those successes have been over on the B site. So maybe something for North to think about now, going through into round 8. Whether they'll force behind these 2 AWPs is yet to be seen. Their economy's not going to be ideal. Cajun could maybe drop a weapon, MSL maybe like an SMG, but it would put them down into a bit of an awkward position. You could still feasibly win the round with just 2 AWPs and nothing else behind it. Maybe some upgraded pistols. Be very curious to see what North go for. Because they do have a 5-2 lead, they're not going to feel compelled to rush in for any kind of force. Knowing the bigger picture, they could still come out of this half well and truly ahead. So I respect this. I respect holding fire and not going all in with a buy. And with 2 AWPs, you absolutely can make this work for you. So let's see if NIP, first off, get more success. Secondly, do they end up hitting B again? Or are they going to try and soften up North elsewhere? Cajun B, peeking up through box halls, can see nothing. And this allows him to keep 3 players outside and send away that 4th player, which is Gade, on towards the A site. MSL watching, anticipating. He's poised for action, and action will be forthcoming with 1. Misses the second, the easier of the 2 shots. He'll be disappointed with that, because that could have been the round-defining moment, but still gets another try. Still gets another crack at it. And Cajun's still alive elsewhere. Oops. Still in play. AKs spraying down through the smoke. HE's flying all over the place, but still these 2 AWPers staying alive and maybe looking for yet another save. So this should put Nip into a 3rd at the very least.
And that's going to be big for them. The 5-0 start to the 5-3. Perfect. North just going to be happy at this point. Move away with the double sniper setup. You're still going to have something to work. Albeit, for the time being, those AWPs not enough to keep Ninjas out of this A site, Vince. They're running rampant all over the place. Plopsky back at the top of the scoreboard, right next to Rez. It's MSL surprisingly enough, who's walked into this map and just gone above and beyond. 13 frags, 1 death. AZ, who dropped 30 kills on Vertigo's at 8 right there behind him. But it's Christu who's quite quiet. And Cajun B, well, he hasn't had those big, impactful 1vx situations just yet because he's had to save this op now 2 rounds in a row. So he can't even do what I think he does best. He's not primed for the clutch moments. They've just got to go for the saves. CT side going to take that first pause of the game. Good time to do it. Nice and early when you still have a full buy for everyone. Nice to see that North can come into this next round with everybody on weapons exactly where they need to be. You got to smooth out the issues, though. You've got to solve the bleeding rounds that NIP are just bathing in for the moment.
Yeah, that's the reward for taking that jab in the last round of having the 2 ops but not buying anything behind it. It does allow you a really healthy, solid buy. And yeah, I completely echo what you said about Cajun. I mean, you would have to say that NIP have done a really good job of neutralizing him and his prowess because he's constantly been in these disadvantageous positions of saving an AWP or just positioning himself to maybe get some exit frags and nothing more. But Cajun always has that ability to turn things around. Of course, in previous eras of teams, he was their primary AWPer, so we know he definitely can use this gun. Hampus, though, aggressively takes the opportunity and puts out Christu. It's not really been his map thus far, but MSL does at least counteract and make sure that the kill doesn't go unpunished. NIP still posturing outside of the B site. Smoke put down onto Pop Dog. They're not going to be pushing just yet.
As with the flash, that's the prime, that's the pop. It's Gate at back. It's going to be a big test for him. He's moving around here. Nice off angle. Repositions, gets a second, and a little bit of damage on the third. But it's Rez and Twist to answer back with a kill apiece. Now finding themselves in the 2v2. AZ, oh, he finds the angle into Twist. Goes for the peek and loses out to it. Rez now, he's swapped onto the op. And back into the AK. Flashbang goes high, blinds AZ, gives him the exit up ramp. And Vince, he's playing with that Molotov. So he can absolutely just lay that down to try and deny the bomb plant. Problem's going to be that Cajun has a molly of his own. Oh, but he threw it on ramp. So this is actually not going to stop Rez from ever going out, but he gets flashed. Molly's going to drop down. AZ, he's sticking that bomb, and he's going to get it. Easy. AZ burns with the bomb, but he diffuses it before he's turned to a crisp. I love it.
He also pop flashed up just beforehand as if faking they were going to pop flash into a peak. That is such an intelligent play when all the chips are being laid on the table. To have the clarity and chaos like that, very well played. And that's going to be North taking their 6th round. That's going to be a disappointing position for NIP. I've got to say as well, Rez, you called it completely correctly. That flashbang allowed him to dart through the smoke back up ramp playing with the Molotov. He played everything perfectly just until the very end. Unlucky.
Yep, the fact that AZ gets on that bomb, like, you know, right before, just throw that Molotov 2 seconds sooner and it's done. And even if that flash didn't make Rez think that he was going to get peeked or something, it would have been a great way to just cover the defuse sound if his ears are ringing. It all works out. Very, very cool collected clutch there from AZ. You know, he had the help of Cajun B if needed, but he did kind of do that on his own. So North right back on the board. It was 3 in a row for Ninjas, and everything they have other than the $2.4 thousand on Plopsky is invested into this one. T's have 2 rounds of loss bonus still going for them. And obviously that double op setup, that's just been a key piece of this from the very beginning. Gets pressured off of the top, and MSL, nice repeak. Goes right back into the challenge on the upper shelf, then Knock goes back into the crosshair of Gate. Lays down the smoke, lets them out from ramp. Plopsky, good headshot at a distance. And Hampus is good for another one as well. Oh, but AZ, he lines it up perfectly through the smoke, nearly killing Twist, taking him down to 5 HP. Plopsky also damaged, down for the count now, 12 health combined for the 2 remaining Ninjas.
How is Twist still alive? He just took a grenade, I think, down to 1 HP. If they win from this, that's so fortunate. And now Hampus decides, nah, B site's not where I want to end this round. I want it on A. I want it under our terms where we can relocate. Now, the Incendiary, which would have been so powerful, this is also such a great play with low HP. It's much more close-knit angles where it's easier to get killed off pre-fires or Incendiaries. Out in the open like this, there's so many trains that you can hide behind. It's a nightmare. It's a maze to just get back onto this site with enough time to feasibly go for the retake. They've got 2 smokes. That is definitely a huge part of the puzzle that they're looking towards. But I think North have tapped out. Oh. They don't have faith. They don't know that Nip are this low. Yep. What a play from NIP to steal away this round.
Unbelievable. And Vince, try to tell me that if that frag grenade doesn't kill Twist, if it doesn't take him from 5 to 1, but 5 to 0, that they would have gone for that 2 versus 1 on the A site. Hands down, they would have gone for the clutch. But because that grenade leaves him with a single point of health, they are that much more hesitant to go for it. And they've got to let Nip take their 4th. Awesome decision to move that bomb back onto the A site. And honestly, just incredible luck that he takes 4 damage instead of 5. Because it would have made a world of difference.
I would argue this would be 7-3 had it have killed him. I would go that far, honestly.
Sure. Right there with you.
I think that was such a huge moment. And that's why we say CS is a matter of millimeters, milliseconds. The timing slightly off. Rez taking some damage through Pop Dog. 1/3 of his HP. And he will be falling back. But gotta say as well, though, NIP, did they get fortunate? Sure. But they made the most of that opportunity, Scrawny. They played that so very well. Down. MSL again comes through with the first pick, but AZ's been traded out. Good spray from Plopsky. He was one of the main men for Nip in the early stages of Vertigo, and now he is shifting through the gears again. 10 and 8. Second in terms of fragging behind MSL and joint with AZ. That's some pretty good company to have. Cajun B doesn't pull the trigger, falls back, but North are at a player disadvantage.
That's where they've been all map. Look at this. They're just going for the full out stack. Either it's B or it's a save. For now, that's got to be the call. Again, this double sniper setup has been like some sort of religious idol for them, man. God forbid they leave it behind. Obviously, when your economy is so stringy, they've got 2 rounds of loss bonus. If they lose this one, that'll get injected as well, but it's still just not a comfortable amount of money. Slowly but certainly, Ninjas in Pyjamas sizing up the A site. They go shoulder to shoulder with 3 guys out Ivy, and that's going to find the bomb for free. Plant just confirms to North exactly what they expected. If it's an A hit, they're going to have to save.
Yep, the gamble doesn't pay off, so the save is their plan B. And I'll be happy to take this. My concern for them is I understand why you want to stick on a double up as long as possible. The possibilities are endless in terms of the AWP picks that you can go for. We've already seen Cajun play aggressively in the box halls. We've seen MSL having tons of success as he's 16 and 3. The stats do the talking in that respect. But at some point, you have to realize that NIP, their dynamic approach with their AKs and their very mobile aggression, maybe it would be better if you just stick with the 1-up and put Cajun on the M4, because I don't necessarily think it's his own doing. It's just he's constantly been forced with his back against the wall to go for these saves. Allow him to maybe go for a rifle and free him up. Allow Cajun to be more aggro. Allow him to take more sort of progressive angles and try and take the fight to Nip before it gets into saves. I wonder if keeping these 2 ops for so long is actually doing more harm than good to North.
I'm kind of right there with you, actually, especially when I consider, like, MSL, if he's your only op, the guy is 16 and 3. So clearly 1 is working, but the secondary op's only got 4 kills. So do you really need it? They seem to think so. And as long as they save it, they're definitely going to try to weaponize it, and I can get behind that. Cajun, he gets on top of the green train. There it is. Headshot connects into Hampus. 5v4. One of the 2 snipers in the situation here for North. They've also got the MP9 on Gade. But AZ and Christu, I mean, their existence is negligible for this round. That sounded harsh. For this round, specifically.
Scrawny just straight up dunking people for no reason.
Christu's just a waste of oxygen is what I'm trying to tell. Obviously not. But in this round, they should have no impact whatsoever. And I think Ninjas are making the right move here, taking the bomb towards B. Excuse me.
It's all right. It's karma for calling the waste of oxygen there. They stole yours away. Arcade playing alone on B, just the MP9 shoulder peeking, getting information, and now they can traipse across that secondary AWP, but it's a miss. It's an uncharacteristic miss, and that cost Gade his life. And MSL down to 11. You question if MSL lands that shot. Is Gade able to maybe spray in for a second? Is that a way back into the round for North? But as it stands, it's a woulda, shoulda, coulda. They're going to have to back away. They're going to have to save again. Getting into familiar territory. And NIP now going to be closing the gap and making it all even. They have won 6 of the last 7 rounds after trailing 5-0 at the start of Train. Beautiful turnaround. Got to give them credit.
Plopsky's gonna find AZ. I was wondering if he'd be able to USP somebody down, but what's up with Nip being able to stay alive in the sketchiest situations? Again, 2 health for Plopsky. I feel like 5 or 6 people have survived so far this half from just that minimal of health, but hey, listen, Christu, he gets his hands on the AK, so they still walk out of the round with more than they went in with.
True. Yeah, that is very true. Unfortunately, though, they are now all even on rounds after having a vast lead, 6-3 and then 5-0. So it is certainly small successes, but they're hoping that the score at the top of the screen is going to change in their favor as opposed to saving AKs going forward. Now, this is another great buy, but we need to see more from North because nothing's really been going in their favor. Oh my god, those grenades! A landslide of ordnance exploding in the eyes of the Swedes, and they are swept aside with ease. And now Plopsky at 44, going to be Molotov for the rest of his teammates. Twist taking some damage. That's more like it from North. What a read. Putting the nails in the coffin of round 13. Unlucky for NIP. Wrong place, wrong time. And Cajun B may be able to flick across to Nork, and it's good to see that Cajun's now getting on the board with Yorp as well.
Yeah, he's gotten a couple of kills with it back on Ivy in these most recent rounds. I am all for that. Just called out with the grenade stack. I mean, you put it as best as it can get. Wrong place, wrong time. We see Ninjas do varying strategies across this T-half. They just happen to go heavy into T-Con quickly the moment North decide to just bombard it with those frags. So, hello and goodbye. Great grenades from North to get them that 7th. Get them back in the lead. Might be slightly, but they're in the lead. 2 more rounds to close. 9-6, best case scenario for North. They're going to miss the mark with the frag grenades this time, and it does still afford Hampus a little bit of space to work here. MSL, there's going to be a shadow advantage for Hampus. And, oh, MSL. Because of the flashbang from his teammate, MSL was ready. Don't think he anticipated someone that close, but he still managed. And now they're that much closer to this T-Con exit. MSL, he can see the barrel of the AK. Doesn't take the first shot, and Twist peeks into him, taking him down out of the round. A 4 versus 2 situation for Ninjas with the bomb slowly in tow, but they've got so much control of this A site that it's already theirs for the taking. Gade, he cuts one off, and he should have just seen that spot back on the actual Pop Dog, but doesn't seem like anything else, Vince. They have to go again for another save. Or do they redirect 2 through Z?
Maybe just hoping for an exit frag at this point, and if they get one, then they'll fully go in. They could buy in the next round. It's mainly going to be AZ that's feeling a bit worse for wear, but a couple players actually can drop anyway, so they're going to go for this. Nearly connecting the shot onto Twist. And now Gade puts the bullets down range. They have kits, they have nades, but they no longer have Christu, and they don't have Gade either. So North going to be tied up at 7-7. Super aggressive plays from Nip. I love it. By the way, the courage of Hampus, after just being nuked off the map in the round prior from 2 or 3 grenades, Hampus pushed it again. The exact same strat for him. He just goes straight out. And sure, he dies, but he opens up enough space for his teammates to push in behind him.
Yeah, he was a little bit more timid with the timing, actually. Just enough of a difference. You know, he walked into T-Con. He didn't have teammates that were all trying to run out with him. And then him dropping that smoke as well. You know, while he throws the smoke, frag grenades pop, and then he goes through. So just a slightly varying bit of timing. And look at the world of difference. He gets to survive. And Cajun B living life, loving life, as he goes ahead to shut down Ivy. 2 frags off his op. You know, we questioned that secondary op, I'm not going to lie, but it's been worth it since we mentioned it. just because he's at least gotten some kills on Ivy. But Rez creeps through his smoke. MSL called to action with the wall bang to close the first half. North, they will have that 1-round lead after the CT side, Vince, but 7 terrorist round for Ninjas in Pyjamas. They've got to be happy with that.
Oh, they'll be loving it right now, honestly. And there's a couple of things that make me a little bit apprehensive about North going forward, and this is maybe something that Nip is going to really hold on to. MSL, not a guy that typically is going to be dropping 20 and a half, but he just did it. 20 kills, 128 ADR. But here's the thing. Most of his kills with the AWP were static. They were stationary. They were defensive-minded kills. Is he reasonably, Scrawny, going to have the same layers of impact now that he's attacking with the AWP? Is he actually even going to take the AWP? But there's a team that they like to use their AKs. I would argue that apart from their AWPs getting the first pick here or there, this really wasn't a great half of Counter-Strike in terms of rifles, in terms of crossfires. It was MSL having huge impact. Can they feasibly piggyback off him, getting entries with the AWP, getting that much impact now coming through into the second half? Because if they don't, my God, is someone else going to have to step up?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think those are all valid points. This is a very good showcase of his sniping ability, though. Suck on this half, Pimp. 20 and 4. I mean, my God, man. Like, but, you know, I also know what Pimp's argument is. Pimp's not trying to say MSL's a bad opper. He's just trying to say that MSL deserves an op star who could do this while MSL can also perform with other weapons.
Right.
You know, if it was Cajun on 20 kills and MSL with 15 and an AK, I think that's what Pimp is kind of looking for. I picked his brain about it a little bit because I'm impressed by MSL's opping. I'm not gonna lie. When he walked into, it was the Stockholm Masters, right? When he was like supposed to take the role, people were thinking to themselves like, "Oh, this just makes North even easier of an opponent." But I think he really did turn heads, and he's proven to me that he can swing that big green. To pause.
Oh, he certainly can, Scrawny. I
Yeah,
don't think
right?
there's.
Yeah.
I think even Pimp was saying that he's a serviceable AWP. Like he's an AWPer that can still put in performances. But if we go from like the tier 2 kind of teams, for example, to the tier 1, the big teams, can MSL go blow to blow with Simple? Can he go blow with Kenny S or Zaiwu? Probably not, right? And I think that's another aspect that maybe he's coming down on, is like he's not going to be a top AWPer, like one of the world's best AWPers. But second half, we'll have to see if him and his team can continue the aggression, continue that impact. This is maybe where you're looking at AZ, a player that took over on Vertigo to start to shift through the gears. Cajun, he's had a slow one. Christo had a slow one. This is where they need one of these players to step up and really pick up some of the slack.
Smoke grenade goes deep towards Z. Still going to be 3 defenders in position for the Ninjas. And it's all but a fake. They're going to drop down into pop, and there's 2 players in here already. Oh, they're on top of one another's heads. Hampus and Twist coming up with the kills. There's a 3rd player in Gade who looks to sweep him by surprise. Twist dies, turning his attention as if there was a flash. Gade now P250 up. Bomb in tow. Christu gets the kill to Plopsky. There's the man advantage established, but there's a flank coming in from Rez. What's the post plant? Where do they eject? Back to the depths of the lanes, it seems.
They have enough to work with as well with their kit and with the smoke. Rez fending off that initial charge. An important trade coming out right now. This would be the kit and a smoke dropping with Nork. Somehow still alive. We've seen NIP surviving on margins of health in the past, just slithering by. And now Nork taps the bomb, tries to draw out some of these T's, gets one. Rez comes in with a second, and now it's down to Christo, who's going to clean up. We said he needed to show his hand, and he's done just that with a 3K in the second pistol.
Very nice, Christu. He was over towards Ivy, and you've got to give props to whoever's tapping that bomb. He did it enough times to bait out the shots. We had players from North getting a little bit desperate there, trying to fight it, and Christu all the while slips out Ivy, slips behind the bomb train, buys his time, makes sure that while his teammates are trying to just rattle off bullets, making sure nobody sticks the bomb, etc., while they're giving the information away to Ninjas, it was Christu who remained silent, calm, and cool, and walked away with both those final frags. Cajun B going to open up shop quickly as we had Hampus get aggressive in the box halls. Down goes Twist as well, one of the 2 pistol players already dead, but there's also the double scout still in position. Ninjas, they would have loved to do the early scout damage and then keep those pistols alive to maybe hold off on bomb sites, but a little bit of aggression towards B backfires, and I didn't quite catch this Ivy kill, but I'm sure that Twist would have rather survived than die.
Yeah, he got sprayed up through the smoke. Kind of unfortunate, just in the wrong area. And the AK spray came through, and that aggression from Hampus, it was very unfortunate. Molotov into smoke, into HE on his face, and the Galil just behind the smoke. He never really had a chance. You can see the corpse there of Twist is he is now going to be trampled over with North's aggression out onto the A side. And we saw North go for similar kind of plays with their double AWP setup. You just gamble stack B. If it doesn't work out, you save your weapons, you rinse and repeat for the next round. Klopski also has a deagle, so you can actually drop that across the Hampus or Twist, and it allows them all to have a little bit of firepower, all to have a little bit of a sting behind their punch. But it will be North having double digits. They are going to take 10 first and be 3 rounds ahead of NIP. And this is certainly one of the ways that they can whittle down and make this a lot more manageable if they can keep that economy on the CTs never really fully flourishing. Another deke has been picked up, so that allows everybody now, assuming that everyone survives, to have a deagle or a scout and play into the next one. And I think North will be relatively happy to just hold on to their guns as well. It's going to end a bit of a stalemate. They've got 4 assault rifles and UMP. You don't want to throw any of these away.
Definitely not, man. It's all worth keeping. I'm liking this affinity from North for the Galils. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on this. You know, in Vertigo, we got the 5 Galils in the force buy. This time, obviously, the AK is better, but then the UMP's not a bad option. I can't remember if I asked you this or if it was when Hugo joined me on the Summit stream, Vince. Galil or FAMAS?
Ooh. I'd probably go for the Galil because of the extra bullets.
Fair. Very fair.
Which one did you come down with? I feel like you probably said FAMAS.
Yeah, I'm a FAMAS man myself. Just because I'm also a big proponent for the Mac 10, you know? So it kind of...
Sure.
You know? Sometimes it be like it do.
Yeah, I can definitely see both elements. I'm just really happy that Valve made them both viable. You know, the increase in ability with the guns, obviously the decrease in the price as well. Like I'm totally on board with that. I love options. Never against the idea of giving people some variety in what they pick.
The spice of life, Vince. The spice of life. I'm just hoping that one day we get a FAMAS burst fire buff. Like what if the rate of fire on the burst fire was a little bit faster, so that the DPS, you know, if you got a headshot and 2 body shots with 1 burst, that'd be badass, man. that's I'm just fingers crossed one day, but we'll see. Eventually this execute will also happen, so all things must come to an end, including this 18th round. Twist first kill, MSL trades, and that trade frag from Ivy opens up the split towards Z, where the pistols pay off. I believe a scout shot. No, not even. That's just Hampus on the deagle, no assist. So he lands a bunch of bullets, and man advantage here for a retake attempt.
They have lost one of their rifles, so Gade instead has the UMP. This may actually come out ahead, though, considering 2 players are without Kevlar. So up close, that's going to rip and tear through them. Good post plants being established, but there's no kits and no grenades. But the first kill in this confrontation is going to go the way the CTs. Cajun taking damage alongside Gade, who now has to fend this off. And his AK's now picked up. Nork's going to just stick on the side. Plopsky playing bodyguard. And there's the USP frag. Huge moment for NIP. Going to stabilize their economy and significantly hurt North in the process. And a round scrawny on paper should never have gotten the way of the Swedes.
Nope. Should never have. But, you know, there's an X factor in Hampus. And I think that, you know, the news of losing Lekro was actually quite shocking. And that's as somebody who is a fan of Hampus. You know, like, I thought he always had potential. I liked what he did back with, like, the Red Reserve crew. You know, he's floated around tier 2 Swedish Counter-Strike long enough to have gotten a shot on ninjas. So even as somebody who is a fan of Hampus, I thought replacing Lekro was going to be a bit too much of an ask. You know, I thought Lekro with Hampus would be able to do something wonderful. But one thing that you know, in terms of like when I try to do like the checklist of comparison between those 2 players, one thing that they absolutely both have is a killer deagle. And Lekro, I mean, one of the best deagle players in the world, hands down. Hampus, he will make an argument for himself if you give him the chance to do so. Very good deagle play. And I mean, we see the damage just so quickly rack up when he goes peeking from Z into the shots of MSL, then following it up as well with the close range fight of it all. Like, he doesn't miss many deagle shots. They may not always be those beautiful one-shot zingers, but he's really good at just damage output on the deagle specifically. So keep your eyes on it. He's like a mini Electro. And we've got Ninjas, of course, with a full buy. T's come right back into it. Ooh, a little bit of chip damage on the grenade towards Ivy. AZ sprays a bit, so that's information. There's somebody over on Ivy. North, they're up to something. Ninjas know it.
This could smart for Rez. He's not careful. Oh no, nearly Cajun goes down. He's still going to go in with that grenade afterwards. And the grenade does 0 damage. So that is just 78 HP
Bada
dealt
boom.
with. And the grenade finishes off Cajun. Awful trade to start the round off for the Danes.
Another one.
NIP will be happy with that. That's a decent grenade in return, though.
We're just playing shot put at this point. Frag grenades back and forth. It's a very explosive game of chicken. But in the end, it'll stabilize to the favor of Rez, I'd say. Oh, little double peek. I like the attempt. Rez still fast enough to shut down one. Another grenade comes out for damage output. And it is the T's on the back foot. But Christu, he could best twist, and he will. Connects the headshot. Loses 40 of his HP in the grand scheme of things. So the damage kind of negligible, but Plopsky, he gets another crucial frag. That's going to cut the bomb carrier off at this A site. Maybe he decides to run B. It's open for the taking. If only MSL knew, but he's still going to manage another frag. Vince, there's 10 seconds left, and they have to hit this A site. Happus, he is on top of it. Bomb's been dropped, and the last two Ninjas coming out on top of their individual duels. North losing their lead to just 1 now.
But also propelling themselves forward in the economic struggles. North into a save, likely just some deagles, maybe Tech 9s, maybe a couple of armors thrown in the mix and some aggression. But by and large, NIP have done a phenomenal job of stabilizing after losing the pistol and the subsequent round. Great work on the side of NIP, and now some aggression into Pop Dog. There were some really cool moments there from North, though. I love the double peek on Pop Dog, but that free pick that they got in the Pop Dog area was huge, and Gade now turns the tide. Plopsky overextends, gets punished. That's a grenade from the CT of Hampus. It's not really going to do anything, but actually the incendiary finishes off Gade. What the hell happened there?
End my misery. He saw an out and he took it.
He's like, you know what? I've done my job. I got a kill. I'm going to take a bit of a break, boys. Peace. I'm going to just go chill in the flames.
Yeah, see you guys next round. Bloop.
User has disconnected from the channel.
Yeah, he's gone, eh? Frag grenade gonna bounce down to the bottom of the Pop Dog. No damage there. That was the last utility that North would have to work with. So they just go for the head stack, drop down. They deliver bomb to the feet of Rez. How kind of them for him to just have that in his nest. AZ and Cajun, best of luck getting this one back, my friends. There's even an AK down there. It's like they know the damage that could be done. Just can't help but feel like you can do it. Your teammate fell short, but I could do it. Cajun falls in and also dies. Nobody can do it, damn it. Rez, he holds the ground down. He shuts everything out from that possibility of an A-plant. Ninjas, they're going to tie this game at 10 rounds apiece. They've got the sniper up. They've got an AK in the mix. Rez has got a weapon on the ground. And of course, North buy right back in. But Vince, it's not that consistent double up setup on the T side. MSL will still swing big green. But Cajun B, he's got the freedom of an AK.
Yeah, this goes back to the point that I raised in the halftime break. How much impact can he have on the T side where he can't sit there and wait for the T's to push into him? Gade aggressively pushing out of main, thwarted by Plopsky. And one more time, North on the back foot, and very little to show for it. It's not as if they've made huge moves out, but now Easy aggressively flicking into the head of Rez. Does lose significant chunks of his health in the process. He's softened up for some of these HGs and potential weapons, but now MSL put up on the great train, flicks across to North. They're going to smoke off Connector, but it's not going to affect Plopsky. He still pushes through. He's hungry to try and fend off the incursion, to deal with the assailants, to stop the invaders. And Cajun B now going to be trying to check him down with the AK-47, leaving Hampus in a 1 versus 3. It's been 3 unanswered rounds back-to-back, and Hampus has had a bit of a slow game so far. Just 10 frags, and he's not going to be adding to that tally as North regained the lead.
There we have it. Quick answer, Vince. You needed guns. Once they had the guns, they were good. And what's wild is that's a 4 versus 5 round as well, because Gade died completely empty-handed. They tried to flash him out onto that outer yard to start the round, and what he ends up looking like is just more of a fool, unfortunately. He's stuck behind E-Box, fully blind. I mean, I don't think he saw anything from the moment he exited T-Con to the point of his death, which was only a difference of 2 or 3 seconds, but still, CT's just easy pickup. And yet North, resilient. However, heavy presence down on Ivy. AZ, he could peek into this. Twist, he's in the open. He's got the support of Knock on the back line. This is going to be a multi-peek from both sides. Op, best op. Chris do best Twist. That is fantastic for North.
It's such a good play because even if MSL gets killed, that wide swing is going to be a 2 versus 1, and it likely, at worst case scenario, ends up being a 1-for-1 trade and forces the AWPer back because he's then scared that they're going to just push him down. Love that play from North. Such a good read. Double nading into Pop Dog barely affects Plopsky. Of course, Rez has played in this very position multiple times and had a lot of success, so they don't want to be pushing down there. But NIP struggling. They're being submerged. They've got a minute to play with and only a smoke and a flashbang, and they both are on the utility belt of Hampers. Peek in from Rez does deal with Christu, but still are a player behind. And if you look at the discrepancy in terms of grenades between the two teams, it makes a stark contrast.
Yeah, bleak picture for Ninjas. Not many colors in this masterpiece, but oh, Hampus, he just shoots MSL in the back of the head. That one's easy. Now he's got an op. This is 2 CTs with a sniper, and they've both got their eyes set forward. At any moment, Plopsky could actually double back away from ladder room as well. And lend a helping hand. Rez, he's going to get traded by Gade, who looks to focus on the second op, taking him so dangerously low. Plopsky, he's regained vision. He's so focused on Gade that he dies to Cajun, and we've seen this man clutch. Hampus, 17 HP, 10 seconds remain. Cajun, he needs the kill or the bomb plant, and he gets the device in his hand. He'll activate it backside. Hampus getting dangerously close, but 1 round of the AK will be enough. Hampus jump spotting, gets the confirmation as to where he's at, and down he's dropped by Cajun.
Never doubted the clutch master Cajun, did you? In that situation with Hampus already low, and Plopsky was so frustrated, man. He was chomping at the bit to get out of the side of Pop Dog, but the smoke was in his eyes for what felt like forever. An eternity that he was just shackled into Pop Dog, wanting to be burst out and let loose. Finally comes out with the 1 kill, couldn't transfer into the second, and now NIP into a dire situation. P250 and Flashbang, 3 players headed towards Ivy, one of which is the Flashbang wielding Hampus. They may flash into a push, but that's a perfectly placed Molotov to deny any aggression for the time being.
No, they want that fight, though. Probably feeling outplayed from the previous round where things went way too easy for North. It's Christu all alone, though. He won't be afforded any aggression. In fact, him dying could cause very real issues for the rest of his teammates, so he better just stay alive, stay tucked, and stay patient.
That's precisely it, man. He is, again, playing that selfless position, playing disciplined. He just has to stay alive. And once his teammates push out onto A, he can be that pivot. He can be that flanker, that pincer movement, and he gets rewarded. Patience proving to be a virtue. It's a pretty rewarding one at that. 2 kill spray down. Easy survives with 4. North move to a 3-round lead. And if you've just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, they did win the first map. So 3 rounds away from tying up this best of 3. And don't nip, know it.
Don't nip, know it. I like that. This rolls off the tongue. So also going on elsewhere today, we've had Heroic beat Fnatic in a best of 3 again. And OG beat Godsent, which feels like an upset to me. You know, Godsent, they were a dark horse throughout this event. They're the reason that Ninjas are in this series, in fact. So That'll be the 5th/6th game between Fnatic and Godsent. And of course, we're right now deciding 7th and 8th place, because we need to be specific with the CS Summit 6. There are RMR points on the line. Head boost up in the box halls. North not going to see too much. I think they like that. Not going to see anything go down into the B side. It's been a little while since we saw them commit so fully to something like this. Christu, he's keeping eyes on flank, and Hampus gets one before being cleared by AZ. CTs rotate quickly, Vince, but it's all through CT spawn.
And it's all without many kits, and it's all without that many utility as well. They got a flash, they got a smoke. The flash has just been taken away. The smoke is still standing, but Rez has been stumped.
Unfair.
Stumbles. Just wrecked through the smoke, isn't it? Like, in those kind of situations, when connector and a fast rotation comes through, it stands to reason that someone's going to be rotating through connector at that point. So why not just go for it? And unfortunately for NiP, they just happened to tank that bullet with their face. And now Plopsky going to try and save his M4 alongside Nork, but it doesn't get much more of a gut punch than this. You're eyeing up a 14-10 deficit. The best you can muster is 2 M4s and a broken economy behind it. Like, they are absolutely onto their last lifeline now.
And I find this quite shocking, I'm not going to lie. You know, obviously at the end of that first half, outside of the first 5 rounds, there was very little to talk about for North's defense. So I just figured Ninjas were going to take their map pick, and we were going to have to just, you know, skate onto that 3rd map, Vince, to find our decision. But okay, North. Okay. I see you. I'm watching. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Because I'm very curious if this T-side can keep performing. Defense, unfortunately for them, it's going to have to be a calculated buy this time. See what they come out with. It won't be flawless, but it will be okay. It will be okay. A reminder to all of you guys as well. It will be okay. This too shall pass. And for Ninjas, they're hoping that it doesn't pass too quickly, because they would love to turn it around and make this comeback happen. But here's the limitation. Twist on the Deagle. Another competent Deagle player alongside Hampus, I'd say.
Yeah, it does seem like ingrained in the Swedish DNA that all Swedes must be pretty decent Deagle players.
It's in the water.
Yeah, must be. That's the only thing I can think of. Hell of a region of the world to Counter-Strike. Had some of the most legendary teams and players over the years. Of course, right now, Fnatic doing great things in that place of the world, and IP hoping that maybe they can step up. An org that's very much storied and has plenty of history behind it. This is rated 13th team in the world. That's the Ninjas up against North, who are 27th on HLTV ratings. That shows a discrepancy in why many would have thought that NIP would win this coming into the best of 3. But there is a chance at a clean sweep the other way around. North now dwindling away a lot of the utility on NIP. 55 seconds to go. 1 incendiary, 1 smoke, flash, and a HE with just a T-Gon twist. And it doesn't bode too well here, Scrawny, but we've seen them do more with less.
Very true. But they're already on that 4v5. 3v5, and Twist is still just on his Deagle. They're going to drop that molly on the E-box. That kind of flusters Gade, and he's going to go down. Cajun jumping as AZ gives the cover. Double headshot for AZ on the entries, and that's the AZ that just absolutely dominated on Vertigo. Very quick first bullet accuracy, very swift multi-frags, just cutting down players like it's nothing, Vince. You know, I kill a man, I got to look him in his eyes, I got to apologize a few times. Not AZ. He is just going to town on these Ninjas. And, well, another sketchy situation. It's not Twist on the Deagle, it's Hampus. They've got more utility than last time, I'd argue. And, of course, still M4s in the mix. 1 kit. 5 map and match points for North on their opponent's map choice. How exciting. Very rapidly trying to get out from the ladder room. Plopsky, he's pinned down behind E-Box, dropping a flash just above him. Christu still has clear vision, crystal clear vision on the back of the bomb site. AZ gets the follow-up, and it's all on Hampus. He may be flanking down ladder. Oh, and he may have gotten his first one, but you'd think this would be impossible. He dodges some shots from Christu, who's actually the bomb carrier. And for a moment, it looked doable, but it's all cut down. North, the Great Danes, stand tall on after Vertigo, taking the series 2-0.
Huge props to MSL. We said, would he have the same level of impact in the second half as the first? Not quite, but he was still there. He was still
Yeah.
present. He was still living in the moment. Ends on 28 kills. He got 8 kills in the second half and 20 in the first. But honestly, most of the rest of his team stepped it up. So he wasn't required to have the same level of impact. And to be fair, he only had the AWP in the last few rounds. Before then, it was this back and forth, scrappy AK kind of buys. But man, I got to hold my hands up and say I was wrong. I thought Nip would win this game. Never looked in it to me.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, dude. Not gonna lie, especially after I saw the veto as well. I'm thinking like the two highest win percentages for NIP were Vertigo and Train. And we had North take both of them, not some overtime or 16-14 kind of wishy-washy fashion. This is convincing. And unfortunately for Ninjas, I just don't think they all showed up to play today. You know, you take the scoreboard in the second map specifically, Twist and Nox still sub 10 kills. Plopsky looked wonderful on both maps. Rez and Hampus also had those moments of shining here on Train. But yeah, it was MSL in the first half of Train. In hindsight, that gave them enough momentum to just, you know, really convert this second one. But even at the end of their CT side, Vince, I didn't see this T side coming. It's kind of just clicked out of nowhere.
Yeah. No, especially when they went from 2-0 in the second half to then Nip got the defuse. They started to bounce back. And remember, that defuse was in a very poor buy as well. They had Deagles, they had P250s, and they somehow made that work. And I'm thinking, okay, here we go. We're heading to that third map. This is going to be easy for Nip. No, not at all. And when your in-game leader, by the way, is balling out of control and fragging that hard, that's got to inspire the troops. It's like, look, if our IGL is doing this, we have no excuse now. We've got to be there and help him out.
Yeah, if he's whipping out the sword and sprinting out of the trenches, then you're definitely going to rile up the rest of them. So excellently done, North. Congratulations. You guys will take 7th place. Let me reconfirm that before I say it twice. Yes, that's right. North in 7th place of the CS Summit 6. Ninjas and Pyjamas will take 8th. That is 5,500 for 7th, $4,000 for 8th, and a difference of 125 RMR points. So definitely well worth it in the continuous chasing of those coveted spots at the Rio Major. But that's it, folks. Just a 1BO3 kind of day. Me and Vince, we're going to be done. And well, that's it for the B streams as well. We will leave you guys in the cool, competent hands of the rest of the Summit guys, and they'll be taking you through what remains of this playoff bracket. So I hope that each of you enjoyed your time with us. I know that I had an absolute pleasure here on the B stream, especially with you, Vince, on these last 4 days. So thanks for joining me, and thanks to all of you guys for tuning into the Summit 6. Keep doing so. The action's not done, just us. Goodbye.